Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. If you don't know what that is, you will find out. You'll figure it out soon enough. I'm Robert Fithen. I'm here with Richard from Calvin Wazoo. Hubtune, Mike from Hubtunes is also here. Craig is here as well. Welcome to the channel where you don't have to hide your Bronski Beat records anymore. You can show them proudly. I've heard about that. Did anybody do that? I heard about that the other day where somebody was talking about they had to hide. Exactly. We're going to just full denial. Hide our stuff so our parents don't see it. And did anybody do that with their Bronski Beats and their Erasure albums and their whatever they have?
I did but it wasn't because it was gay-oriented material. I had to hide my Frank Zappa from, make sure that they weren't, around listening. But most of the time I had headphones on, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like the Christian family kids, where they'd have to hide their heavy metal. The Bryan Adams out and the Bon Jovi was fine, but they'd have to hide like kind of the Slayer and the whatever under the pentagram.
I was too busy hiding my bong. I didn't really care about my
yeah,
records.
That was the other thing. Yes, I had to hide my drugs. That was the issue.
That was the cool thing about my mom is she found mine and knocked it over and didn't know what it was. And
until she could smell the carpet.
It's a vase.
I knocked over that thing. It was full of water. You shouldn't have things with standing water like that. And that's all. And yeah, that was it. That was the end of the. Okay, well, no standing water. That's the takeaway from the bong in the closet. All right.
Simple rule.
Right. By the way, I don't know why I chose that voice for my mother. She really didn't have a voice like that. That was more like my dad, actually.
She was a mannish woman?
No, not at all. Just came out that way. I guess it must be the atmosphere. But no, nobody had to hide in the... I mean, I remember we didn't wear, you didn't proudly wear, where I went to school in Southern Illinois in a steel town, you didn't proudly wear your, even the synth pop stuff, that was too... No, you couldn't wear, the New Order or the Culture Club. You couldn't wear, Depeche Mode even was... No, it had to be Motley Crue.
I was almost 30 years old when that was going on, so I didn't
Guns
have
N'
to hide it
Roses.
from anybody.
Oh, really? Well, that must have been... Quite, yeah. We couldn't do that. You had to, wear the Van Halen or nothing, just a regular shirt. You definitely didn't walk to school in.
We didn't.
Not even Prince, really. Prince was too.
He was
this
Prince.
Is what I would be worried if my parents saw this.
Wow.
Or the back cover.
All that eyeliner. Yeah, the back cover.
Is that real? Who is that?
My parents never paid attention to the music I was listening to because
mine didn't either.
By and large, I was listening with headphones and so they never really heard it.
Yeah. My first headphone album was Prince, 1999. A lot of people talk about headphone rock. They're talking about Pink Floyd or something like that. But my headphone rock was Prince with his dirty lyrics that I was like, whoa. Had to go out and get headphones and check that out. Richard Pryor albums too.
Controversy.
Good times with the headphones. So everybody was cool.
Have anything to do with Erasure?
Thank you. So we actually wore our Depeche Mode and stuff like that, but then we were labeled as gay, and that was way before I even came out.
For Depeche Mode?
Yeah.
Wow.
But where I grew up,
oh yeah,
everybody rode 2,500 people. Well, there were 2 towns, so 5,000 people total. And everybody rode horses and listened to Garth Brooks and Clint Black and AC/DC. So it was a good time.
AC/DC.
I mean, I love me some AC/DC, but
almost got the name. I mean, almost.
Right.
Apparently named after a vacuum cleaner sticker. But you couldn't wear Depeche Mode. Like I said, Prince was too effeminate or whatever you want to. Too gay for my hometown. Yeah, you couldn't. What did that mean being labeled? You wore them and you said you were labeled as gay. I mean, what were the consequences of that?
Of course, they called you the F word, but that's the only word I ever heard.
But they didn't take you back and hang you or anything like that, like they did.
I mean, they didn't hang you, but I mean,
damn,
drag you from the back of the horse.
Yeah, you got off easy.
If I was hung, I would be dead. So, well, shut it.
Did you just say?
There we go.
The
first one.
That's what I said. Shut it.
See now,
From a broken neck trying to what?
When I was in junior high school, I was like very, very non-confrontational. So I was like, avoiding anything like that. I was like, avoiding any connotation, about, anything like that. But, it came through, especially in junior high school, where there were just the subtle things that people would say and do, around you that immediately, made you feel like, okay, I'm different and I'm not being included in things because of that. But at that time too, I wasn't real clear, what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of was, but it was a different thing going on, because we didn't have any overtly gay groups in the 1970s, really, that I knew of.
Well, late 70s had the Village People.
And that was such a novelty thing.
Yeah.
It was a novelty, like Shaun Cassidy.
Yeah. Oh, Shaun Cassidy. Oh, my God.
No, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to give you a stroke there, Richard.
Whatever.
They played Woodstock. They had that.
Who was
Shaun
the
Cassidy
first
did, not the Village People.
artist that you identified because you either thought they were gay or at least what they were singing about was open enough to you to interpret that way?
I have an answer, but I'll let somebody else go first.
I mean, he's not gay, but I can kind of like the first like real artist that I felt like I could connect to, other than Dolly Parton, was Robert Smith of The Cure. There was something, the music it filled my soul. The lyrics that I loved, that he wore makeup. I loved the hair. I loved everything about him. And because I was probably about 15 when I discovered The Cure, and it was at that like very pivotal time in my life when I was kind of discovering who I was, and those lyrics and just everything about him and the band in general just kind of really resonated with me, and I'm still obsessed.
I would have to say the same, Robert Smith, because The Cure were just so cool, and they were so dark, and the music wasn't poppy, and that's what I liked about it. Because when I was a kid, I didn't listen to gay music. I mean, I was into Van Halen and Scorpions, and I was into like kind of a heavy metal thing, and I love classic rock. So for me to like all of a sudden go to Culture Club would have been like, what the hell? No, but The Cure and Robert Smith was absolutely perfect for me. I loved it.
Yeah, The Cure was another one you couldn't do it in my school. I remember I had a friend that actually was the first time I heard The Cure, made me a mixtape, and it had a couple of Cure songs on there. And this mixtape was like it was like secret. Okay, shh, don't show anybody. Like almost like a drug handshake, giving me this thing. And it was like it had New Order. I still have it. It's up there somewhere. It had New Order on it and all this, Susie and the Banshees, all this stuff that is not on the radio. And I didn't have. Did I have? I don't remember. I had cable. I think I did have cable at the time, but you had to wait until Sunday night on MTV or whatever. I mean, The Cure before the whole Friday I'm in Love thing. The Cure was something that you had to seek out. You had to either have friends, at least in my part of the world. You had to have friends that knew who they were, or you had to see them on like a specialty show on MTV or something. But yeah, with Robert Smith, I mean, singing about being isolated and a lot of the lyrics are about being, feeling, confused about the world around, just really depressing, a lot of depressing stuff. And I can definitely see relating to, I mean, when I first heard them, I was really hooked right away.
Yeah.
I had
so
compilation.
You guys are all talking about something that happened when I was already like in my 20s.
Right.
And I go back to someone's echoing, I guess. We're getting some feedback from somebody's mic. But anyway, a friend of mine, when I was like 13, 14 years old, straight friend who actually grew up to be in a major homophobe. You know, it was this album, all right, that really spoke to me. You know, the first time I listened to this, which ironically was the first time I got high. But you know, the whole record and the song Lady Stardust remains to this day one you know, my favorite David Bowie songs, because, you know, here was this guy singing about, you know, another guy singing on stage, you know, in drag. You know, and that the whole line, like, you know, the boys stand on their chairs to make their point of view. The lyrics were just, you know, struck me in a way that nothing up until that time had ever struck me before.
No, is this when the album came out, Richard? Or
right? Yeah, it was
right
brand
when it
new.
came
So
out.
this came out in 1972. I was 14 years old. So, and that was the same time that, you know, this one, he also turned me on to this one. And, you know, which it was confusing as hell, because I knew he was like super straight. And here he is, you know, really digging this music. So, yeah, it really confused me a lot. But the thing we had in common primarily was music and the fact that we both like to get high. So,
I had friends
being
like
a bad
that,
influence on the children of America.
The one for me didn't happen. I mean, I liked David Bowie in my teens and you know, Freddie Mercury later on. But the one that really connected with me wasn't until it was in my probably early 20s. And when he came out was Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Because I was working in rock radio at the time, and I had just started out, and this was the early 90s. And of course, you know, you have this shock jock morning show that I was eventually became a part of, you know, and it's gay jokes left and right, except for when I joined later and actually offered them something other kind of humor. Yeah, there's another kind of humor besides. Did you guys know that? You know, and he was the one that, I mean, he wasn't like a, you know, wishy-washy or, you know, I don't like labels and all this nonsense. He boldly came out and said he was gay, G-A-Y, right there in your face, looking at the camera, like, you know, on VH1. And then, you know, later on was a Grand Marshal and all this kind of stuff. And then came out recently with that book that's just like, damn, way to put it all out there. It's a great book.
Yeah,
it's like a sex.
Yeah, it really is.
If the amount of rock, you know, heavy metal or whatever, sex story ratio in that book is about 60-40, leaning on the gay sex side. I was very surprised.
I'm gonna need to read it.
But yeah, this coming from, you know, a guy who probably doesn't have, you know, at that time didn't have a big, you would think had a gay following, really put it on the line, really, I think, risked his career by doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know what David Bowie would have risked, or Freddie Mercury, if they would have just blatantly come out at one point like that. You know, a lot of Queen fans and David Bowie fans or whatever, but Judas Priest, heavy metal kids from the 80s, right. Not exactly the most...
But looking back on it, so obvious.
Right. It's like your dog even knew.
So obvious from their first record. I saw Judas Priest about 5 years ago at a little theater outside of Chicago, and the place was packed, absolutely packed. And I'm telling you, Rob Halford did more costume changes than your fucking Cher. It was. Wait, can we swear on this? We're good, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I might drop
whatever you want. It's your show.
But he did so many. I swear to God, he changed costumes in between every song. It was unbelievable, and everything was sequined, and it was bedazzled. It was crazy.
Oh, I would have loved to see that.
Crazy.
Wow.
I mean, you know, how old is he now? You know.
Yeah, he's old enough not to care, obviously.
Exactly.
Hey, man, if you got
I haven't made a record in years.
But he, you know, he says in the end of the book, he invites people to go back to the old Judas Priest songs and look through the lyrics and look for all that. And it's like some of the stuff I kind of picked up on before, but then there's stuff it's like, what in the world? You know, wow, how did I not, you know? Songs like, Raw Deal off Sin After Sin, Devil's Child off of Screaming for Vengeance. Yeah.
See, now that's
there you are.
Judas Priest is something that is missing from my collection. So I need to bring that in.
Yeah, you said that in a video. I would start either with one of those two albums. I would either start with their first like major label album, Sin After Sin. It has a lot of earlier.
Yeah.
It has a Joan Baez cover.
I'm surprised you don't have Hell Bent for Leather, Richard.
Yeah, Hellbent for Leather is very leathery.
Well, again, you know, I was thinking of another question to present to you guys, because, all right, so your era, you know, your teen years and listening to music was, you know, in the 80s, mid 80s, somewhere around there. I'm kind of curious how the AIDS epidemic affected you in your music listening and how your peer group was reacting to all this at that time. Because that's, you know, there was a lot of, I was in my 20s by that time, so there was a lot of, you know, Craig, you talked about it a little bit, there was a lot of negative energy attached to synth pop bands and things like that. And I really wonder, you know, if that was connected in any way to the backlash that was going on during AIDS.
You know, I don't know how controversial this is to say, but we're all talking about growing up and listening to like Van Halen and AC/DC and, you know, whoever, Foghat, of course, you know, everybody loves Foghat. But I wonder how much of that, you know, people always say that music is escapism, you know, your escape. I wonder how much of that is almost like, especially in the, you know, the 80s where, you know, oh my God, I mean, you're public enemy number one if you're gay. I mean, that's, you're starting this disease. It's killing everybody. You're probably, you know, got it. You're sex maniac or whatever. All these horrible, subhuman. Do you escape into like heterosexuality via, you know, these testosterone full pussy chewing, rocking, you know, party bands, you know, full on whatever. Yeah, is that kind of like you putting on your, you know, I'm going to escape from all that from a while and just sit back and try to like maybe feel like what it's like to be a straight guy in my Camaro rolling down the road listening to, you know, Led Zeppelin. Did you like the music so much that I don't know. Or is it the music? For me, I think it's a lot of the music, but I mean, I can see where I kind of may have started doing some, I don't know.
I think there's a lot of revisionist history on like Freddie Mercury. I mean, you know, I remember when he passed away, and there was a lot of backlash. I think a lot of the synth poppy new wave bands, I think they got a lot of flack. I remember it vividly just being, oh shit, you know. I mean, there was a lot of negative stuff when he passed away.
Yeah,
but you know, now you know they're making biopics, and as they should. He's freaking amazing. So,
yeah.
But,
well, there's a lot of revisionist stuff with Queen anyway. I mean, I noticed a lot of radio stations play stuff that they never played before. I mean, I grew up here in the Midwest, and I obviously worked in radio for over a quarter of a century, so I was a radio aficionado before that. I was never a radio geek that really got into all the different, you know, I was mostly just focused on my own hometown or whatever. But you never heard Another One Bites the Dust. You never heard, you know, you heard maybe Bohemian Rhapsody once in a great while. You certainly never heard Killer Queen on a rock station or any of that kind of stuff, at least around here. And then after they did that video where they all cross-dressed, I Want to Break Free, that pretty much killed it for them in America.
That was late in their careers.
That was like really 84. Yeah. And that was it. They didn't do very much after that here.
Yeah. One of the first records I ever bought was News of the World, and right after it came out. It was one of the first records, and I remember it being huge. But they
would play that too. We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. I forgot about that. Yeah, We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. But you've never heard the Queen like you do now. Like they're right up there with, you know, the top 5 or whatever. They were really kind of downplayed. Yeah. And I think it started with that video, that cross-dressing thing. Banned from MTV for cross-dressing. Yep. I mean, can young people imagine? Think about all the stuff that MTV shows and how controversial they're banned from MTV because the group cross-dressed.
Well, that MTV show, did any of you watch, what was that reality show that they used to do? And then the guy, you know, where they were filming them where they were living, and then the
Oh,
one guy came out and told everyone he was HIV positive.
Yeah.
The Real World.
Yeah.
The Real World.
His name
yeah.
was
Season-
Pedro
Pedro.
DeMarcus, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of a turning point.
That was
I
a turning
think.
point, definitely.
That's where I remember his name. That he's wow. It's too bad he passed away like that because he never got to, I don't think, see what kind of a pioneering kind of a thing that was.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, he
I
was.
remember
the first...
watching that, and then of course, but I was still in the closet at that time. But I remember watching it and being really moved.
Did you have a small TV?
You know. Yeah, it ran on batteries.
No reception issues in there? Problems?
His Wi-Fi worked better than mine. In the closet.
Yes, well, closet Wi-Fi is the best.
Maybe I should go in the closet.
Well, my Wi-Fi is right out on my desk.
Oh, I see.
Wow. Whoop-de-doo.
All right, so who else would
Are we going
know
to show
that-
records?
Well,
He
yeah.
showed one. I thought about he
You know,
showed
we
the
showed records,
held up
geez.
that David Bowie one, and I thought, well, maybe, but I
got a
like
record
saying-
that I used to hide this from my friends. I didn't want
Oh,
any
yeah?
of my. I didn't want
Rob
any of my
Halford,
friends
the
to know I owned
aforementioned.
this. I didn't want any of my friends to know I owned this. Now I look back,
But it's so
it's the best
good.
it's the best Michael Jackson record.
It is so better
Fuck
than
Thriller.
Thriller.
Oh, I love this record.
It is so good. I had it on 8-track.
Yep.
Actually, I still have my 8-track. But
Yeah, I used to hide
Well,
that from my friends. All my Rush
That was
friends.
that was another issue I was dealing with growing up in the area of Michigan that I lived. Was I was dealing with a lot of racists. So you know, listening to black music was it was it was, and I was non-confrontational. So I let people bully me, in that way, through a lot of those years.
Yeah.
God, I was the opposite. I used to we had family fights because I was a little kid that demanded to watch Soul Train. Now, the reason I really liked it to begin with was because of the train that came around, and the guy was Souls, and I really liked that as a little 4-year-old. But I really liked, I would have like 45s that would come from yard sales, or I just pulled this out. I'd have K-Tel albums or whatever, and you can't tell who's black and white, but inevitably I usually like the disco or the upbeat, like the R&B stuff or the soul stuff more than just the kind of generic pop stuff. And I remember later on, the deal was if my sister watched American Bandstand, then I got to watch Soul Train. So I was way on board with it. I was the little, I don't know who I could compare myself to. I was the Michael Evans of my family. If the Good Times family was white.
Oh, the cute one.
The little one that was like the militant that was...
Well, I remember a saying that we had when I was in my 20s. It was very frequent, and also into the 90s when I started to come out, was scratch a homophobe and you'll uncover a racist.
oh,
Yep. Still holds true.
I've never scratched a homophobe before. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, don't do it.
If I ever need a racist.
get back to us and
No,
let
I
us
don't get
know what
one.
happens. Yeah, I'd be curious about that.
You got
Wow.
a record, Craig, to
Is it
show?
like kissing a frog?
What?
You got a record to show, Craig?
Well, are we talking about like gay, like who we?
Well, I got
We're
my
talking
gay
about
covers.
whatever.
I
We
got
threw
my
away the
covers
script a
that I
long
Yeah, I
time
think
ago.
we-
I think that was about 4 minutes in. We threw that thing out, and all for the better.
Just so the viewers know, we
Let's
actually did
talk
have
about-
a script.
People.
Well, we had an outline, and it got thrown out. A line.
As an outline should, it's
Yeah, I totally agree. We
Absolutely.
tried doing that in the first 2 minutes. And, okay, well, we've talked about this. Well, Robert keeps talking while I'm following the outline.
We didn't even do number one on the outline. Introduction.
Kind of.
Well, I introduced all of you.
Well,
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
I said your name in case people couldn't read it.
Hey, Craig wants to talk.
Yes.
So going back, because I'm bringing us back into time about hiding things, because I remembered I did hide this. I actually had to throw the album cover away, and I had to actually scratch a word off. I just had the cassette tape. I had to scratch a word off the cassette tape because my parents would just absolutely freak out. and that was this.
Oh my god!
And
Boy, that Prince album.
Woo!
my
I'm telling you, Prince was my first same thing. Not that album, but
my mom saw that cover and asked me what kind of pornography I was bringing into the house, and so I got rid of
the worst kind, Mom.
Yep.
You know how there's pornography you'd be upset about, and then there's pornography you'd be real upset about? It's
Right.
the second kind.
I had to scratch.
She'd hate to see the porn on his phone right now.
Right. I mean, did she know that was a naked man? Because he does kind of look androgynous if you just kind of see it and you don't know who he is.
He has a hairy chest, so.
Oh, okay, so she did. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so he is kind of have his nipple out there, so it wouldn't even be.
Pose.
So did you buy that record because of the cover?
I didn't know. I have other things that I bought because of the cover. So.
Yeah, what have you bought because of the cover? Because if you're growing up like you did, or you're not hearing the radio. You're very limited to what you're getting. So you got to go buy like a cool cover or a cool band name or something.
And there wasn't a lot. So my aunt and uncle actually owned a record store when I was like 5 or 6, but unfortunately that closed by the time I was like 10. So that would be awesome if they had still had that. Like the gas stations and stuff would sell they would have cassette tapes, just little rows of cassettes, and you could buy them. Yeah. And I remember seeing this and just being so intrigued by their outfits, and I just thought that it was just the coolest thing. And just Richard was just something. And so I had never heard anything. Obviously I'd heard psychedelic furs but didn't know I had, and so this was one of those that I saw this cover. I was like, look at him.
Love that record.
It's my favorite Furs album is this one, probably because it was the first one that I ever had.
Nice.
So you bought that because of the guy on the cover? Or just the way...
And just because I was just so fascinated by them.
Just the whole cover?
Part of it, I thought he was, intriguing, maybe sexy. I don't know. I was, 13 or something like that. So I don't know that I really grasped, what that was at that point in my life. Because I grew up LDS, so we hide everything. But it was more I think I wanted to be them. I wanted to be able to have hair like that. I wanted to be able to dress like this and not get the shit beat out of me.
Right, yeah.
Because I definitely was one of those kids, I wanted to be different than everybody else. I had jet black hair. I wore nothing but black clothes. And I got the shit beat out of me a lot because I dared to be different than everybody else where I grew up. And
I had my black clothes phase. I had a trench coat.
Ooh. I never had a trench
before that, yikes.
I had a trench coat too.
Yeah, people had trench coats.
Yeah.
Did anybody else have the fake glasses? I never did the fake glasses.
I had the parachute.
I had real glasses ever since I was 10.
There was a period in my school where it went with the trench coat and the whole I'm going to be more sophisticated. I'm going to wear my and people would wear these just glasses with just the basic frames with no.
I remember the trench coat phase, yes, because I worked at a private school and there were a lot of students at the school that were doing the trench coat thing.
Yeah, it came to an abrupt stop. I think the trench coat thing.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, who else has got a record? That's what we're all about here, We're the VC Guncles.
Yes.
I have a record. Well,
please.
I have a band. You guys know I love showing records. I have a band.
Please.
I don't even. If you've seen my channel, I show records. A lot of them.
Van Halen?
Yeah. No. Look at that.
Right.
Holy crap.
But do you have the poster that's in that? That's the one that's what the hell is that?
I still have it. No, I don't have it anymore. It was on my wall when I was a kid.
It's like David Lee Roth all bondaged and chained up, and it's
See, I wasn't a big Roth
Who is this
fan.
for?
I was not
and
a
leather
big
pants.
David Lee Roth fan. No, it was Eddie Van Halen. I mean, anything Van Halen did when I was in high school. This is their best record, by the way. Fair warning. Absolutely their best record. This doesn't hold up like it did when I was in high school, and anything after that is pretty much garbage. But
I think that a lot of people say that about Diver Down, where it
doesn't hold up. I loved it when I was a kid.
Everybody loved it. Now it's
really
like their worst
does not
one.
hold up. Yeah, but man.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, who is this for?
Oh my!
Well, it was on my wall when I was 14.
Right.
Maybe it's me.
That answered that question.
It was for Mike. It was just for you.
Yeah, they were definitely back cover. Yeah,
No, St. Louis is the only place where, and I'm near St. Louis, basically from St. Louis, and that's the only place where Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth are like this. Yeah, they love Sammy Hagar here. Love him. And he comes here and does 4-hour-long concerts. He's done it his whole career. He has a St. Louis connection that's like, yeah, it's pretty intense. But yeah, nobody gets away with it.
I like his solo stuff, but...
That's what everybody says. I like his solo
Van
stuff.
Halen stuff.
And his Montrose stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the Montrose stuff is great. That first Montrose album.
Right, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, but here you got to also do it now. How do I know when it's love? Love walks in.
Yeah.
Love did. Don't tell me what love can do. A lot of love.
All right, Robert, what do you got that you bought because of the cover?
Well, I found out that Huey Lewis had the biggest penis in rock. And so this was pre-internet.
According to whom?
I just found this out last week when you told me, by the way. Wait,
I did not know either. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, how do you not know that?
I didn't know about it either.
Well, this was pre-internet, so, I went out and got a couple of albums and I don't even think I have them anymore, just because I got them on CD, to see if, there was anything in the booklets, maybe like a swimming trunks or... No, there's not.
There's not, so you
No.
were disappointed.
Any kind of sign? No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Mine was not.
Yeah, Pamela Barnes, the big groupie. It's the one that's had them all. She would know. No, it's not Pamela Barnes. It's the other one. Connie Hamsey. Connie Hamsey's the one that said that about Huey Lewis.
Well, in my later years, I bought a lot of records because of the cover.
She also said who was on the other end of the scale, but I'm too much of a gentleman to reveal something like that.
Next episode.
Yes, you are.
Yes, stay tuned.
So this one,
yes, wonderful record.
This was my first Spoon album, and it was the cover. I was flipping through, and I saw this, and I went, "Oh, he's cute." And I was asking.
I think I'll drop $30 on this.
I was asking the guy in the store, you know anything about this band? And he's like, it wasn't the guy who owned the store. It was, somebody working there. And he's like, I don't know. And he looked something up. Oh, it's indie pop, or whatever. And I thought, well, what the hell? I'll buy it. So bought it just because of that cover. And that, led me into more of Spoon and really liking their stuff. I've always been a fan of, Anthony and the Johnsons and Anoni.
Oh, yeah.
But this EP, when I saw that, I just grabbed it. So, I'm the dirty gay uncle, all right? So, and then of course, the first time I ever got a Pansy Division album, I bought it solely because of the cover. Cute cover, boys in the pajama, and I love the name too, Pansy Division. That was like, this came out in the '90s, and by then I was out, and so I was, not hiding it anymore, and even if you didn't want to know, you were gonna know.
And one of their more recent, in the last 10 years, Pansy Division's album, it actually has that couple on the cover as.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to look that up. I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it's it came out within the last 10 years or something like that. But
that's great.
Those guys are on the cover of it.
Cool. That would be cool to see that. Yeah.
Still together, but yeah.
I remember I specifically bought this for the cover and have no idea what it sounds like, but I brought this home and literally wagged it in front of my parents. Just like, Well, not even like more slowly, so they could all get a eyeful. And my mother,
Wow.
and there's the back cover. My mother, I don't know if you can tell what's going on here or not, but it's
Yeah.
a sex act.
You don't hold it up long enough for us to see.
I'm trying not to get thrown off of YouTube.
Oh,
Video
okay.
number 1.
Wow.
Which my finger there really actually makes it look more of an anyway. So yeah, it's just trying to be outrageous, just trying to kind of ease them into, is he doing that for shock value or is he trying to tell us something? And it was basically I'm kind of letting you know before I let you know officially,
Yeah.
by coming in and doing wagging home something called the Pansy Division with a 69 right on the front cover.
Yeah, dropping hints.
Everything
that
showing.
could be a topic for future, for future
Yeah.
videos. Dropping hints.
Well, like
Well,
I
here's
was
another
like we
one
started,
that I
you just
bought
lay the
only because
records
of the
out
cover.
on the bed.
Talking about getting banned from YouTube. Okay,
Nice,
so a
dude.
little bestiality going in there. But I thought, hey, he's got a nice, nice.
Well, it is a slippery slope, when it starts with the gay, then it leads right
Well,
to the
that is
animals.
true.
That's right.
It's very
Always
true.
happens.
Because if you're gay, then you like puppies and kitties.
Right. Well, as long as they're the same gender.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Not girl puppies.
No. Nobody likes girl puppies.
Right.
No.
I found out a cat I had for 5 years is the other gender.
How?
By taking it to a vet and having its
What?
We notice you keep calling him Gordon. This is a female cat, right? You know that? No. Thought it was a male. This whole time.
I have a friend who had a cat for 10 years and thought it was a male.
Yeah.
And yep. No, just
Because when we got him, he was already, taken care of as far as shots and neutered and or spayed, I should say, and all that. And it says on the thing that he's a male, and the reason he's Gordon is because that's what they named him at the shelter, and it says on their mail. So we don't, and this, it's two gay guys, so these cats aren't in the corner somewhere. These cats are part of our lives. These cats are, like children. They're in our lives. They're talked to all the time. They're, members of the family, basically. And to not know that I mean, it's like very strange. We have a transgender cat and didn't even know it.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
So it's still Gordon, though, because we don't want to confuse it. They're like,
No,
well, you should call it
no.
Gordina. And it's like, we've been calling it this word, so we're going to continue to call it the same word.
Like it understands.
Right. But yeah, it's very strange. She goes, yeah, you can see that little ulva. I'm like, well, we weren't looking for ulvas and vulvas and volvos.
Wow, this video is really degraded fast.
No, I mean, that's just bizarre. I mean, we took it in for, he was, I think, a checkup, a regular. We notice you keep saying Gordon and saying him. This is a female cat. You should have thrown a tantrum. Well, you keep it then.
Yeah. I don't want that.
See
No.
what
right.
see what they had to say about that. But yeah. So there's that. But yeah, good
And
times.
there's this.
That looks like
The
Shaun
8-track.
Cassidy.
And
my
there's
goodness.
this.
That looks like not only an 8-track, but an 8-track from the RCA Music Service. That first one
I
was.
don't know. It might be. Yeah.
There's no might.
Oh, okay.
think it
Well,
is.
you would know. I would not. And it probably was because my mother was a member of all the clubs. So.
Yes. So there you go.
But yes,
the,
I
the
saw
black
this
one was
little-
retail.
I
Though.
saw this little face, and I was like, "Oh, he's so dreamy." I was like 7,
Oh, he was.
and this one, look, he's under wraps. He's in Saran wrap. And if you were wondering, yeah, I have it on vinyl. And if you were also wondering, because I know you were, I have the poster.
It's
But
no
in
David
the
Lee
thing,
Roth.
not on the wall.
And I remember what, the Partridge Family and, what was the other show on TV when I was a kid? And yeah, the
Brady
boys
Bunch?
were cute and
Wasn't Shaun Cassidy on the Hardy Boys?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
What's his doodle?
Yeah. What was it?
Why is
I
it
had
right at
Johnny
arm's length at
Crawford
all the-
albums
Probably
because
dead also.
I had a
have
crush on him.
that. That is
Woo!
the best. What is his name?
Parkerson Stevens?
Parker
Stevens?
Stevens?
Parker.
He was married to Pam Dauber for a very
Parker
long time.
Stevenson, yes. And Pamela Sue Martin is Nancy Drew.
Pam Dauber, wow.
Yeah, he was
I
married to
hadn't heard in a
Pam
long
Dauber
time.
for a very long time. If he's still alive, maybe they're still married. I don't know.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't keep up on either one of them. That's my pop culture reference for the entire video.
So
Oh,
we
I
did
did end
have,
up,
speaking of albums, we did have an assignment because
We
we were
did.
thinking about doing this every episode, where somebody picks an album, and then the other three. I mean, assuming the person has already heard it themselves, and then the other three have to listen to it and give their review of the album. So you have 4 album reviews of the same album, 4 takes on it, and Craig went first.
yeah, what
and
was the
shows.
album again? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Say it out. You need to make them big or say it out loud so our viewers
this
can
is
know
Rilo
what it is.
Kiley, The Execution of All Things, from 2002.
Oh, that's making me big.
That's Robert. Look
I
at
haven't
you,
done this
so
in a long time. I guess I do this. Yeah,
There
we
he
go.
is.
Okay, there you go. I don't need to be in the spotlight. I like me little,
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to.
but I appreciate you,
I was following orders.
Richard. Oh. Okay, so Dave, I love Jenny Lewis probably more than like any person probably should, and who is the lead singer of Rilo Kiley. She was a child actress. I knew her as an actress before. It was like several years later that I actually realized that it was her. She was in episodes of Golden Girls. She was in a series with Lucille Ball. She was in one of the best movies ever, Troop Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills, what a thrill, Beverly Hills. So I saw a video for a song called The Frug, and I saw her, and I was like, that is my girl from Troop Beverly Hills. And I needed to have everything after that. And so
So is she a child actress then in these 80s things? Okay, that makes
she
sense.
was
she was in The Wizard.
Oh my God, she wasn't the girl that took Rose's teddy bear, is she?
Yes, she was.
Yes, she was.
How did I guess
Yes,
that?
She was.
Out of all the children.
You did your homework.
Yeah.
No, I totally guessed that. I was trying to think of a child, and that's the only child I could think of.
She's a redhead, so she's
Yeah, she was a little redhead.
she's pretty.
Oh my God, another
She
reason
was
not to.
on
Anyway.
like an episode of Roseanne and what?
See, now I need to tell a friend of mine who is a huge Golden Girls fan and has a collection of Golden Girls DVDs and VHS.
Do they have a
and-
collection of Golden Girls DVDs in a mock purse?
Yes,
No,
we all
that's
have
the
that.
question.
We all have that friend.
I need to tell him about Rilo Kiley because I wonder if he knows it. And he's a vinyl collector as well, so I need to tell him about it.
Be an honorary Gunkle.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
I think
That
it's
is-
fantastic.
It's a playing
And
card.
my favorite song on the record, well, there's a lot of them, but A Better Son, Daughter is probably the one that just...
Oh my God, that was my favorite one too.
Yeah, that's probably in my top 2.
Because sometimes when you're on, you're really fucking on, and their friends, they sing along, and they love you. There's just something about that song. And I feel like, to me, like this album has like the perfect opener with The Good That Won't Come Out. And I feel like it has, like Spectacular Views is like an excellent closer, but then you have With Arms Outstretched right before it. And it's kind of, to me, that feels like kind of a campfire song. And I've seen with Jenny and Rilo Kiley, her specifically, I've seen her live 15 times. So the most out of anybody that I've seen live. I think Dolly's next. And 5 of those times was Rilo Kiley. So I'm obsessed. I love her. And I love this record. So I'll 10. Yeah. Do you want more?
No, I mean, it's time for.
So how do you guys react to it?
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Yes, please. Somebody besides me.
I was super excited that Craig picked this record. I'm actually going to see Jenny Lewis in like 2 weeks, and I've been listening to a ton of Rilo Kiley and a lot of her solo stuff. I also absolutely adore this record. I don't own it on vinyl. I have Takeoffs and Landings, and I have More Adventurous, but I don't have that one. And I was actually, Craig and I were texting back and forth. I need to get it. It's such a great record. I love the title track, probably my favorite song on there. But the thing I really like about it, I love the guitarist, Pierre de Raider?
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I love his, I think he has 2 or 3 songs on there, and I love every one of them. This is not an insult, he sounds like Christy McVie. And just his vocal stylings and the way. There's one song on there that reminds me so much of an old Fleetwood Mac song. I just love his stuff. He also has a solo band. They don't make much music anymore. We're called The Elected.
Oh, that's Blake.
Is that Blake?
Yeah, Blake sent it. So, who was also a child actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on Boy Meets World and Salute Your Shorts.
Oh, okay. Because also great records. They have 2 or 3. I think one is called Sun.
3.
Yeah.
And
terrific.
Another band, Night Terrors of 1927 or something like that, which is really good as well.
Nice. Great choice. I love this band. I can't wait to see her live. I saw her at South by Southwest a couple of years ago with the Watson Twins, which her
with them.
Yeah. The album Rabbit Fur Coat is the best, absolutely the best she's done. So, absolutely wonderful.
Should we do star ratings and then add them up and then see what albums?
So what is the highest star?
Well, like 5. Like
5.
You would probably give it 5 out of 5, right?
I would give it a 5 out of 5.
And then we add everybody's up, and a perfect album would be 20.
Okay.
We just see what after we do a few which.
I give it a 4.
So much for a 20.
I got to cut her down
19
a little
at
bit.
best.
We built her up.
Okay, Robert, what was your reaction to the?
Like I said, I love the fact that all the songs sound different. I can't stand albums where all the songs sound the same. There's a lot of different kind of things going on, a lot of different textures. I love the drums. I love that they're real drums. There's like little, drumming things in there that aren't done, that a machine wouldn't do. I do like the guys' vocals.
Okay.
Bring it.
I really do not like that woman's vocals at all.
Oh, really?
That is my least favorite kind of female vocals.
Wow.
I'm going to throw my Donnie Marie 8-track at you.
Oh, wow. Is that the one with It Takes Two remake on it?
Yes, and it's way over there now because I threw it. Oh, good God.
And I'm so glad to know that is that little girl that stole Rose's teddy bear. That is perfect. Because she's right in my... Because I listened to it once on a stereo, and then I listened to it again. I listened to it twice, because I don't like doing one time, and then...
Right.
And then she's right in my ears with that. It's that vocal fry female thing. I don't like that.
Huh.
Very Lisa Loeb.
So what's your star rating?
Convoluted profanity. Not a fan of that either. Other than that, I liked it.
I love convoluted.
And I didn't like the lyrics.
So
the song about being in the doctor's office and you don't want to...
More wine.
Bringing it down to 3 stars?
2.
2.
I'll give it 2
really?
Because of the music.
Okay.
I'm like the Wicked Witch. I'm melting.
Well, what a boring place the world would be if we all had the same opinion.
That's true.
Oh my!
I can't even believe I have to say that.
Here, I'll bring you back up, Craig. Because I really liked it.
That was good that you put me in the middle after. I wanted to be last, but it was good that I'm in the middle. It's a sandwich thing. The negativity is sandwiched.
When I was starting to listen to it, I looked it up on All Music Guide, and it was weird how they described the album as being twangy. and I don't get that at all, from
don't
that
get that.
album. But right from the opening, I like that simple guitar. The picking of the guitar, the simple, remind me a lot of like Car Seat Headrest and Slint. That type of guitar style where this minimalism is going on and everything else is taking, more of the stage. And I love Jenny's voice. She had on Paints Peeling. I really like that because it kind of reminded me of like Sheryl Crow kind of power in her vocals. The Execution of All Things was great. So Long kind of reminded me of like the Shins a little bit. It had that kind of feel to it. Capturing Moods, love that. But A Better Son and that was really, really, really good. A great closer for like side A. I wrote down it had a Scottish band feel. So I guess I can't quite remember what I meant by that, but it was very kind of grandiose and almost had this like mocking tone to it that I really, really liked. Hail Whatever, My Slumbering, all those songs, Spectacular Views, to me, kind of out of place with the rest of the album. It just, it's a good song, but it just, I don't know, it struck me as, being out of place. But the After Hours closer, to me, it was like Velvet Underground. It was like, just had that really smooth vibe to it. So I go with 4 stars.
Speaking of Velvet Underground, for the single for Execution of All Things, they actually did a cover of When You Close the Door.
Oh, yeah.
After Hours, yeah. So that was actually the B-side for it.
Oh, that right. After Hours is the VU cover. That's what I wrote down. It was a Velvet Underground cover.
Yeah.
So, they did a really, I don't know what I was thinking there. That it reminded me of course, it's a VU song that they played. But they did a really great job with that. So it was a good closer for the album. So, yeah, I give it 4 stars.
I would rather hear her vocals over Nico.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's a plus.
I tried. That's about as good as that's the best I can do. Like the guy at Pawn
my pick for next week is Nico.
Pawn Stars.
Yes.
So
yeah, please.
What does that come out to? We got 2 4s, a 5, and then a 3.
15. A 3.
He gave her a 2.
Isn't that what you said? A 3?
No,
a 2.
It
a 2.
Oh, a 2. Oh,
giving that a 3. Are you kidding me? I'm in a doctor's office and I don't want to see my insides because that's where the good is, and it's got to come. That's a 2. 15. When it's all totaled.
All right, 15. Wow, all right. So next,
just rise above it. Just brush it off.
So the challenge, I think, Mike said that he would be giving us one to listen to our next episode.
Yeah. Speaking of quirky vocals, I'm doing St. Vincent.
St. Vincent.
This is VO.
I don't know who this is.
Love this record. I was going to get weird on you guys, but I figured to go with it.
You could have got weird.
Yeah. I was going to do the David Byrne St. Vincent combo record. It's so good. So good.
But we'll do this one instead.
Yeah, we'll do this one.
So which one? What's the name of it?
Yeah. It is VO. Or what is it? I don't even know. Jesus.
It's that one.
It's the one with Digital Waitress.
Yeah.
It's that one, Richard.
It's that one?
It's that one.
What is the name of it, though?
I think it's called... Jesus, it's the one with Digital... I thought it was called Digital Waitress. It's got a great...
Right, hold the phone.
Yeah, because I'm going to have to look this up and listen to it electronically because, And
I picked this one because we were going to go with, kind of gay artists, and I don't know how she identifies. I think she's bisexual.
Oh, it is actually, it's self-titled. So it's St.
Vincent. It's the eponymous one. All right.
So I went with this because I absolutely adore her. I think she's one of the hottest artists going, and bisexual, I believe she identifies. I'm really bad at this, so if I'm misidentifying something, I apologize. I know she was recently in a long-term relationship with Kristen Stewart for many, many years. I don't believe they're together anymore. Yeah. So,
So this is from 2013?
yeah, probably.
It says
yeah.
it's her 5th studio album.
Yeah.
All right, that'll help me find it so I can listen to it.
What
Yeah.
awesome artwork.
It says it won the Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album, making her only the second female solo artist to win the award since its inception in 1991, when it was awarded to Sinead O'Connor.
Really?
Wow.
Wow, that's a stretch, man, of
That's
no
a long
female
time.
artists
That's
winning that.
Kind of
Yeah.
not. Yeah, that's not
Kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, what does that say about the people at the Grammys? And geez.
It says
Wow.
the same thing. This says about the people who gave Jethro Tull best heavy metal, the people that gave it Taste of Honey the best new artist,
Right.
Milli Vanilli the best new artist.
Well, actually, Shelby Lynn, I don't know if y'all know who Shelby Lynn is, but she won Best New Artist for her 13th album.
Good place to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Vinyl Community Guncles, episode number 1. Hopefully there'll be an episode 2. I am Robert Fifth, and I will let the others introduce themselves.
I'm Richard Calvin Wazoo.
And do you want to say anything about your channels or before we go? Or
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Richard Calvin Wazoo. I have a channel that's called Calvin Wazoo.
we don't know why. I thought for like a year your name was Calvin, and the Wazoo was like a Frank Zappa thing, like the Grand Wazoo or
right.
whatever.
Yeah, that could be a topic for another. But I am celebrating with a contest right now, so you could visit the channel and find out about the contest and maybe win a prize.
Excellent.
I like prizes.
I'm Mike.
Oh, you're this way. You're over here. What? Get it, Mike.
Mike at Hubtunes. Got a channel. Check it out. Do all kinds of stuff: jazz, rock, weird music, new bands. I follow a lot of new bands and concert reviews. Yeah, all over the map.
I'm Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora. Thank you very much. And I love Jenny Lewis. And yeah, I talk about all these lovely albums. So check me out if you feel like it. Because I'm a cool kid.
And I'm Robert Fithin. I've got a channel too. It's called Robert Fithin. Same thing, talking about records minus the jazz. And the Janet Lewis or whatever, Jenny Lewis. Don't talk about her either on my channel.
Janet Lewis.
You know,
It's her mother.
I already threw my
Right.
sketch. Do I have another 8-track to throw at you?
Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, hopefully there'll be an episode 2 right here on this very channel. It's a great idea for you to subscribe because we don't really have very many. We just started this, so that'd be great if you could like the video and subscribe. And that way, we won't have to keep reminding you on other platforms where these videos are. Once again, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. And yes, we'll have a review of that.
Great review
St.
of
Vincent.
that.
Yes.
I'm hoping for more than 2 stars from Robert.
We'll
I have
see.
a feeling.
The tough critic in the house.
We'll find out on the next episode of the Vinyl Community Guncles.
Yes. Bye.